On the first day of the year, during the Angelus prayer, Pope Francis wished that every man and woman in the world would be able to welcome God, who has made man.
Oggi la Madonna ci benedice tutti, tutti. Benedice il cammino di ogni uomo e ogni donna in quest'anno che si inizia e che sarà buono proprio nella misura in cui ciascuno avrà colto la bontà di Dio che Gesù è venuto a portare nel mondo.
On the solemnity of Mary, Mother of God, the Pope invited the pilgrims to think especially about Our Lady, greeting her like this.
Che io vorrei che tutti la salutiamo adesso, dicendo per 3 volte Santa Madre di Dio. Insieme, Santa Madre di Dio, Santa Madre di Dio, Santa Madre di Dio.
Pope Francis recalled that January 1st also marks the World Day of Peace. This year's motto is Good Politics at the Service of Peace. During Mass on the first day of the year, the Feast of Mary, Mother of God, Pope Francis reflected on the feeling of amazement. He said one should feel amazed at the beginning of each year, since life offers opportunities to begin again. The Pope also said Christians should be amazed by the Mother of God, as he reflected on 3 points. The first one is to allow ourselves to be gazed upon.
Sguardo della madre, sguardo delle madri. Un mondo che guarda al futuro senza sguardo materno è miope. Aumenterà pure i profitti, ma non saprà più vedere negli uomini dei figli.
The second point is to be embraced. He said while the world is chaotic, a mother's embrace is that which grounds the children, helping them feel safe and consoled.
La Madonna, cioè, aveva tutto a cuore, abbracciava tutto, eventi favorevoli e contrari, e tutto meditava, cioè portava a Dio. Ecco il suo segreto. Allo stesso modo ha a cuore la vita di ciascuno di noi. Desidera abbracciare tutte le nostre situazioni e presentarle a Dio.
The third point the Pope reflected on is to allow ourselves to be taken by the hand. Just as mothers take their children's hand and introduce them to life, he said Christians should not wander far from Our Lady.
Prendici per mano, Maria. Aggrappati a te. Aggrappati a te supereremo i tornanti più augusti della storia. Portaci per mano a ricoprire i legami che ci uniscono. Radunaci insieme sotto il tuo manto, nella tenerezza dell'amore vero, dove si ricostituisce la famiglia umana.
The Pope said when wandering, it's easy to get lost and forget our mother's love. Then one can get caught up in indifference, bitterness, and anger, destroying all unity.
Ma Maria è così.
I'll be reading from first in Wikipedia, a few things. So Kuanon or Kanon redirects to Guanyin. And it is an East Asian bodhisattva associated with compassion. As venerated by Mahayana Buddhists, she is commonly known as the Goddess of Mercy in English. Now, I want to once again show also down here the names in other Asian languages. Due to the devotional popularity of Guanyin in Asia, she is known by many names, most of which are simply the localized pronunciations of Guanyin or Guanxinyin. The name is pronounced Guanyam or Gunyam in Cantonese Chinese, also written as Kuamyam in Hong Kong and Kunyam or Kunlam in Macau. Is really just a matter of understanding that these letters or the sounds are interchangeable or swappable or so on. So in Japanese, Guanyin is pronounced Kanon, occasionally Kanon, or more formally Kanzeon, the same character as Guanxing. The spelling Guanon, based on a pre-modern pronunciation, is sometimes seen. This rendition was used for an earlier spelling of the well-known camera manufacturer Canon. So this same spelling, I knew when I first saw that word, when I spelled it with a Q, Canon, was, Canon came to my head. I started thinking, isn't that the camera company? So that's nice to have this confirmation here that the camera company was named after this deity. Reading on. Canon Incorporation, which was named for Guanyin. So once again, we got Canon or Kanan or Kanon from Guanyin. Down here in iconography, representations of the Bodhisattva in China prior to the Song Dynasty of 960 to 1279 were masculine in appearance. Images which later displayed both attributes of both genders are believed to be in accordance with the Lotus Sutra, where, I don't feel like trying to say that word, has the supernatural power of assuming any form required to relieve suffering, and also has the power to grant children. Because of this, Bodhisattva is considered the personification of compassion and kindness, a mother goddess and patron of mothers and semen. The representation in China was further interpreted in an all-female form around the 12th century, and in the pre-modern period, Guanyin is most often represented as a beautiful white-robed woman, a depiction which derives from the earlier Pandaravasini form. Reading down here a little further, in China, Guanyin is generally portrayed as a young woman donned in a flowing white robe, and usually wearing necklaces symbolic of Indian or Chinese royalty. Down a little further than that, in Chinese art, Guanyin is often depicted either alone, standing atop a dragon, or accompanied by a white cockatoo and flanked by two children or warriors. Scrolling further down here, we find an image on the side over there called, in the caption under it says, Guanyin and Child, modern Chinese painting theme, similar to the Madonna and Child theme. There's a part on the wiki that I neglected to read. Similarity to the Virgin Mary. Some Buddhist and Christian observers have commented on the similarity between Guanyin and the Blessed Virgin Mary. This can be attributed to the representation of Guanyin holding a child in the Chinese art and sculpture. It is believed that Guanyin is the patron saint of mothers and grants parents filial children. This apparition is popularly known as the child-sending Guanyin. One example of this comparison can be found in the Sushi Foundation, a Taiwanese Buddhist humanitarian organization which noticed the similarity between this form of Guanyin and the Virgin Mary. The organization commissioned a portrait of Guanyin holding a baby, closely resembling the typical Roman Catholic Madonna and Child painting. Copies of this portrait are now displayed prominently at the Sushi affiliated medical centers. During the Edo period in Japan, when Christianity was banned and punishable by death, some underground Christian groups venerated Jesus and the Virgin Mary by disguising them as statues of Kanon holding a child. Such statues are known as Maria Kanon. Many had a cross hidden in an inconspicuous location. It is suggested that the similarity comes from the conquest and colonization of the Philippines by Spain during the 16th century, when Asian cultures influenced engravings of the Virgin Mary, as evidenced, for example, in an ivory carving of the Virgin Mary by a Chinese carver. The statue of Guanyin or Guanxing in Gyeongsanga Temple, Seoul, Korea, was sculpted by Catholic sculptor Song Yeon Tay, who modeled the statue after the Virgin Mary in hopes of fostering religious reconciliation in Korean society. Now I'm going to read from this book called Queen of Rome, Queen of Islam, Queen of All by Jim Tetlow, Roger Oakland, and Brad Myers on page 44 and page 45. Why do the people of the East revere the Virgin Mary as Catholicism? Could it be that she is indistinguishable from their own goddesses? Xin cites the Chinese goddess Kuan Yin as an example of the many Eastern goddesses that are similar to the, quote, Blessed Mother, unquote, of Catholicism.